Welcome back. Today I have a fun one for you. We're going to be making these quick and easy macrame headbands. For this project, you will need a headband. I got mine at the dollar store. You're going to need some scissors and a tapestry needle. Plus, we're going to be using yarn today. I am using the brand Scheepjes Stone Washed yarn, and I'm using the color Canada Jade. And for the pink one, I am using Rhodochrosite. I apologize. I have no idea even what that means. Of course, I had to Google it, and according to Wikipedia, it is a crystal. So I definitely learned something new today. Anyways, let's get started. But before you start, you might want to try on your headband to see where you want your knots to start. I'm going to start right where the teeth are on the headband. Taking a long strand of your green yarn, you want to fold it in half to find the center. And then you want to place the center right where those teeth marks start on your headband. And what we're going to do is tie a half of a square knot. Now, just as a disclaimer, I did have a hard time filming this in a manner that you can see it clearly. So I apologize if this video starts off a little bit shaky. It does get better later on. Anywho, grab your long strand of pink yarn and you want to fold that in half to find the center, and you want to place the center right on top of one of the sides of your green yarn. Then repeat to the other side with your second strand of pink yarn. This is the most finicky part of this whole tutorial, is just here at the beginning. It does get easier later on. So hang in there and stay with me. Next, we're going to complete the other half of our square knot. And what you want to do is you want to tie it around all of the cords and the headband. And as you're cinching up the second half of your square knot, you want to make sure that your pink yarn is tucked in behind your headband. Just be aware that it might take a little bit of maneuvering, but you've got this. Okay, so next we're going to tie 2 more square knots, and we're going to tie it around the headband and the pink yarn. I am making this pink headband for my daughter. Pink is her favorite color, and I made the blue one for myself. However, since filming this, she has claimed both of them as her own. She actually gets lots of compliments on it at school, and it's very popular with her friends. So if you're making this for a craft fair, these sell great for little girls. Okay, so next we're going to grab 2 of our pink strands of yarn, and we're going to tie 3 vertical lark's head knots. Now, because this yarn is quite fine and this headband is wobbling around a little bit, I do realize that it's a little bit tricky to see exactly what I'm doing here if you're not familiar with your vertical lark's head knot. So I will link a video up on the top of the corner of the screen here of a slowed down, more in-depth tutorial on how to tie this specific knot. And just as a reminder, you can always adjust the speed of this video by tapping the 3 dots on the top right corner. That way you can slow down this video to see a little bit better of what I'm doing, or you can speed it up to skip ahead. Now, I chose yarn for this project because, quite honestly, I have a lot of yarn and a lot of scrap pieces. Also, I do find that it's softer to wear. It doesn't dig in on your scalp as badly as nylon rope does. And it comes in so many different colors. And also, it's easier to clean than using cotton cord or any other type of cord. So I thought I'd just share that to let you know, that way you can keep that in mind when you're picking out your different materials. Okay, so carrying on, we're going to repeat the same thing to the other 2 strands of pink cord and tie 3 vertical lark's head knots on the other side. Once you've tied all of your vertical lark's head knots, we're going to take our 2 strands of green yarn and we're going to tie another square knot. Now, this square knot is done a little bit differently. What you want to do is, as you're cinching it up, you want your top of your square knot to meet the bottom of your previous green square knots. That way it kind of folds up the pink yarn so that it's in the shape of petals. So once you have the first half of your square knot done and it is cinched up to the top, you want to complete the other half to secure your knot. Next, we're going to work back with our pink yarn and we're going to tie 3 vertical lark's head knots on both sides, just like we did at the top. That way it completes the look of our petals for this flower. Now these flowers could easily become the shape of butterflies if that's what you like. So to achieve that look, all you would have to do is increase the amount of vertical lark's head knots on the top portion of your petals. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to tie another square knot and we're going to cinch it up to make sure that our vertical lark's head knots form kind of a pucker or a petal-like shape. Alright, so that completes our first flower. So once you have your square knot done to secure your pink petals, what you want to do is tie 3 more square knots. So that way we get that gap between our flowers. And then you just repeat the whole pattern all over again. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up this video and I'll meet you right back when we're close to the very end of our headband. Okay, so I've completed my last flower here, and before we go any further, what you need to do is make sure that your pink yarn is pulled to the very back, and we're going to tie 3 more square knots with our green yarn, just making sure that the pink yarn is towards the back. We want to hide those. Okay, so once you're sure the pink yarn is in the back and you've completed your square knots, what we can do now is safely snip off our pink yarn. And of course, be very careful not to cut your green yarn. Next, you want to take your tapestry needle and thread one of the strands of your green yarn. And what we're going to do is we're going to push up through the back. And we're going to go through, I don't know, maybe the last 3 of your square knots. And bring it all the way up from the center, all the way up to the top. And then give that a snip. Repeat with your other strand of green yarn and snip it off. If you wanted to add a little bit of glue to make sure that it's secure, you can go ahead and do that, but just note that it could be a point of agitation for the wearer of the hairband. But I assure you, it should be fine without any glue. I didn't add glue to mine, and my daughter has been wearing hers every single day for weeks now, and it is totally fine. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.